Wet-on-wet watercolor painting is a wonderful way for young students to work with color. The goal of the activity is to introduce the painter to the primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, and experience the magic of seeing these colors interact and form the secondary colors. Most of the painting supplies in this video are from the educational art supplier Mercurius. A link to their site can be found on the supply list. Here is what each painter will need: a painting board, a brush, watercolor paper, watercolor jars to hold the paint, holder for the jars, painting cloth, a water container for rinsing the brush. The teacher will need a sponge for pressing the paper onto the painting board, a plastic bin large enough to float the watercolor paper in, a drying rack, and red, blue, and yellow paints. The Stockmar brand of paints is the absolute best for this activity. I mixed together 2 shades of each primary color because I like the effect, but 1 shade of each color can suffice. Fill the paint jars to about 80% full of water. Add 1 teaspoon of each shade of one color or 2 teaspoons of the same shade of color to the water, then shake the jar to mix the paint thoroughly. Fill the water bin 3 to 4 inches deep with water and float each sheet of paper in the water. Be sure to insert each sheet of paper separately so the water wets both sides of the paper. Set up a painting station. If the painter is right-handed, place the paint jars, the painting cloth and water container, and brush on the right side of the painting board. Set the water container with water in it on the edge of the painting cloth to hold it in place. Smooth the wet paper onto a clean painting board with a damp sponge. Wipe off excess water and firmly press out any air bubbles under the paper. Now the painter can begin. To keep the jars of paint clean and bright, it's important to rinse and wipe the brush in between applications of color, even if applying the same color. I explained that the brush, Mr. Whiskers, likes to keep his feet clean, so we always water, wipe, color, and then paint. Rinse your brush in the water, wipe it on the cloth, dip into the color of choice, and then paint on the paper. For beginning or younger painters, it's helpful to give them one color at a time until the method is well learned. Water, wipe, color. When the painter is done, use the wooden end of the paintbrush to incise the painter's name into the wet paint on the paper. Place the painting in the drying rack. The paintings will naturally fall away from the painting board as they dry. Rinse all of the painting materials carefully, especially the paintbrushes. Be sure to wipe them dry on the painting cloth. Wipe the excess paint from the tops of the painting jars so the lids won't stick. Enjoy the beautiful paintings. These paintings can be used to create other colorful projects: colorful origami boxes, colorful necklaces, colorful books, colorful mats for picture frames, and things you haven't thought of yet. Mahalo for purchasing curriculum from the Green Preschool in Kailua. Check out our other instructional videos.